It's interesting you were talking about kids and that identification. I had this thing when my daughter started with the me mine business, and I said, let me show you something, right? And she'd have some object she would say was hers, and I'd say, look, I can take that away from you. Is that really yours, right? But this thing, this hand, I can't take your hand away from you. That's yours. And it was really interesting because almost immediately after, we get this phone calls from the daycare, and they're like, you should have a talk with your daughter. We're like, well, why? Well, because she's giving away all of her things to the other kids, right? Somebody would say, I like your sweater, and she'll just like, I would give it to them, I mean, like it's their minds are so open. Like, this is one of the things. Like, Vedanta also has kind of stages to its process, and the first step basically is listening with a totally open mind. Like, if you're listening and you're trying to filter in and fit the things into your current paradigm of understanding, you're basically going to pollute the teachings, right? You're going to validate things that really shouldn't be validated. I mean, my daughter, she was probably 5 something, started kindergarten. So her mother moved to Vancouver from Salt Spring, and she was in school in Vancouver, and so I moved from Salt Spring and was in Vancouver for that year, and I didn't really have work or whatever. I had wasted all my money, basically. I was broke, and I just rented a room in a house, so when she came to stay with me, we were in the same room, this like big kind of attic room, like a loft kind of space. And I wake up early, much earlier than she would wake up. And one morning I wake up and I'm sitting in the corner of the room. It's not, not completely unlike this room. And I'm just meditating or whatever. And I hear her wake up, and she says, Papa, you can't wake up when you're dreaming. Like, oh, really? Have you been trying? She's like, yeah, I says, Phoenix, some people say all of this is a dream too. She's like, really? And she just like, this is a possibility, right? Like, I mean, she just goes like, boosh, like right into considering this thought. And I go back to meditating. And a few minutes later, she speaks up again. She's like, Papa, you're all lit up. It's all glowing behind you, right? I mean, like the receptivity at this age, right, before they really assert themselves as a doer, right, as this like individual entity or whatever. It's beautiful to see, but like, she doesn't remember those things now. I mean, they happened long before, and I told her that story, and she's like, really? didn't really remember it, but yeah, childlike mind. I guess this is why some teachings basically say, you need to, and I think that's basically what they're saying. You need to set aside. You need to like open yourself up to another set of possibilities, to another perspective on things.